We are back. My next guest tonight is an author, playwright, choreographer, and the dean of the Actors Studio Drama School right here in New York. He is also the host of the critically acclaimed talk show Inside the Actors Studio. Here's Will Ferrell portraying him on Saturday Night Live.
When one thinks of the greatest all-time films made by mankind, in this century or in any other, one name keeps coming up again and again and again and again. That, of course, is great cinematographer Greg Toland. He cannot be here tonight because he is dead.
Please welcome James Lipton. So, what do you think of Will's impression? Do you like the impression?
He's got it all wrong. First of all, he has me interrupting people. I never interrupt anybody. It's the only sin I don't commit. And then also, he plays me as catatonic. I don't know where he gets that.
That seemed pretty good to me.
Yeah, that's my imitation of Will Ferrell imitating me.
Oh, okay.
And he plays me with an English accent, which I don't possess.
But you're working on one, desperately.
If I'm going to be anything like him. I wonder, would you allow me to issue a challenge on your show?
Yes, I would. What? Are you going to actually physically fight Will? What are you going to do?
No. Will Ferrell, I know you're out there. This is a challenge. Meet me on stage, on my stage, at New School University, mano a mano, blue cards to blue cards. Put your money where my mouth is. And we'll meet on stage dueling blue cards. The 100th anniversary of our show. Gene Hackman will be in October. I'm going to do a big show with 99 other guests, excerpts, and I want to do it with Will Ferrell, him and me.
I'm sure he'll get them. I don't think he's watching tonight, but I'll make sure he... He's not... He's probably busy. I'll make sure he gets that.
If he's got the guts, he'll meet me at the new school.
Someone told me that you used to have the nickname Jimbo.
Never had the nickname Jimbo. Never, because
Can I call you Jimbo tonight?
No, you may not call me Jimbo. The only people who call me Jimbo are the New York Rangers. Don't ask me why. I used to hang out with them. And I
really want to know why.
We would go out after the game for long neck Coronas, and one night, one of them called me Jimbo. I said, that's the one nickname for James that I don't like, and I was Jimbo ever after. Finally, they said to me, what do you want to be called? I said, well, I've always sort of wanted to be called either, I'd like to be called really Spike, or...
Spike?
Yeah, or Slick.
You're just not a Slick, I'm sorry. You're a Jimbo. Now, now I want to make sure we get to a few things here. You have been known to actually frighten guests with your knowledge of their personal lives, the amount of research that you do. Is that not true?
I don't know that I frighten them, but look, a lot of people who come on my show are people who don't do talk shows.
Yes.
People like Meryl Streep and Bobby De Niro and Paul Newman and Kathy Bates and Sean Penn. And
I had all of them on last week.
I'm sure you did.
They were together. There was one big segment, and it went terribly. Anyway, continue.
Did you find what I found? I can see their hands shaking. And also, where I'm sitting on the show, we're angled, so I see a sliver of light behind them. They sit like this. Their backs don't touch the back of the chair. And I do all the research myself. It takes 2 weeks. And in those blue cards, I plant up front some questions that will tell them that I've done my homework. And that's usually the point when the guest says, how did you know that? Or Julia Roberts said, did you call my mother? Or Sally Field said, have you been reading my journal? And at that point, the sliver of light disappears. For some reason, they relax, and then we're off and running. But they're very nervous. Harrison Ford's hands were shaking.
So you think you're probably the best prepared talk show host in America?
I don't know. I'm a fool to do it all myself. I've been doing it for 7 years that way because we couldn't afford researchers.
I think it's good to be as prepared as possible, James Lipton. Now, what did did you know? You knew something about, who was it? You knew something about one of your guests, about her bedroom that just completely freaked her out.
Yeah.
Who was that?
That was Gina Davis.
Gina Davis. Did you break into her bedroom and scope it out? What did you do?
I'm not allowed to reveal that. I'd have to... not only would I have to kill you, I'd have to kill all of them. But I knew that Gina had put footprints on her ceiling and that her parents had preserved it. I asked her if the footprints were still there, and she looked very startled, nervous. And then she thought she had me. She said, "What color were they?" I said, "Purple." That's when she screamed. Loud, really screamed.
You fiend!
I know.
What kind of interview is this? And then you went, You end every show with your patented questionnaire, is that right?
That's correct. That's correct. It's a tribute to Bernard Pivot, who has been watching Will Ferrell. But the Pivot show has been on 26 years. It was called Apostrophe, and it was called Bouillon de Culture. And it's the best. It is the best interview show. I know. That's when
I'm sorry, you're just losing me here.
I know. Will gets tongue-tied at that.
Yeah.
point. But the point is that I do it as a tribute to him. I like that questionnaire. It's a kind of Rorschach test. And some of the people really are terrified of it, but I don't care. And sometimes I like to ask those questions of everybody.
All right. Let's go.
What's your favorite word?
Jimbo.
You almost heard my favorite curse word. What's your least favorite word?
Bunyan.
That's good. What turns you on?
The ladies.
What turns you off?
Ooh, boy. Any tomato-based vodka drink. Like, you know when they make a V8? I don't like that. I don't like when there's tomato and spices. No. Don't like that.
What sound or noise do you love?
The sound of my voice talking.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Other people talking.
Now we'll see if you got the guts. What's your favorite curse word?
Ooh, mother... Love that word. That's just a good word.
The first person to say that on my show was Sally Field. It was the third show I shot 7 years ago, and she set the tone for the rest of the series.
She taught me that word. I cut her off in traffic.
What profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
Comedian.
What profession?
I want to know what it's like one day to get those laughs.
To hear the laughs.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to participate in?
Personal trainer.
And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
The vegetable tonight is corn. I'd love to hear that.
That's a nice heaven.
Isn't that a nice heaven?
That's a very nice
I like
heaven.
corn. Inside the Actors Studio is on Bravo, Sundays at 8 p.m. You were a very good sport to come on. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Conan.
James Lipton, everyone will take a break. We'll be right back.
Hi.
Monday, 8, 7 Central.
Let's play the Weakest Link.
They answer questions to get rich,
Correct.
then vote each other off.
Who is the sugar in your gas tank?
But first, they face Anne.
Not a single question answered correctly. Is there any beginning to your knowledge?
She can dish it out,
Perhaps you wandered into the wrong studio.
but can she take it?
Sweetheart is easy when you have the answers.
You've never seen a host or a game like this. Weakest Link premieres NBC Monday, 8, 7 Central. Yum.
Beer frame.
Coors Light.
ID? There you go.
Thank you.
ID?
I don't have, but you know, we
No ID, no beer.
EA Sports Supercross, presented by Speed Stick and brought to you locally by Central Yamaha. The best riders are back for the hottest Supercross season in history. McGrath, Carmichael, and more. And dreaded seats are still just $10. The Ford Ranger Pro, the second stop of the Vans Triple Crown of Supercross, brought to you by Mountain Dew and Vans. April 21st, Texas Stadium.
Masterpiece, Onimusha, Warlords, for the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system. Rated M for mature, only from Capcom.
Crispy wafers, peanut butter, and milk chocolate. Reese Sticks. Let the good times crunch.
Mick Dundee's traveled halfway around the world just to get his man.
Don't worry about me. I'll blend right in.
He just never imagined.
Yo, give it up, punk.
How hard it would be.
Look out! It's a giant anaconda!
Paul Hogan.
Hi, Mick. I know you're still here.
Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles. Rated PG. Starts Friday, April 20th.
Well, folks, that's our show. And I do want to thank all my guests. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye.